If you're a Chargers fan right now, you've got every reason to feel excited. No exaggeration, this team is on the verge of becoming something really special. We're heading into year 2 of the Jim Harbaugh era, and honestly, the changes are already noticeable. The way this team is being built, it feels different, smarter, more intentional. And today, I've got 2 major reasons why you should be optimistic heading into the 2025 season. 2 things that not only define what's happening in Los Angeles, but explain why this might be the year where it all clicks. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolt. Recently, Pro Football Focus dropped a breakdown of every NFL team's biggest strength and biggest weakness from last season. Now, I know PFF grades aren't gospel. Every fan base has a love-hate relationship with them. But sometimes, those grades paint a picture worth paying attention to. And in the Chargers' case, that picture is pretty clear. Their biggest weakness in 2024? The ground game. The rushing attack. Just flat out underwhelming. But here's why that's actually great news. Because it's the one area Jim Harbaugh simply won't allow to remain a weakness. If you know anything about Harbaugh, whether it was at Michigan, Stanford, or even back in his 49ers days, he builds from the inside out. He wins with the run game. And when something isn't working, especially something as fundamental as running the ball, he doesn't ignore it. He fixes it relentlessly. Let's look at the numbers. The Chargers made the playoffs last year, despite having the 4th worst PFF rushing grade in the entire league. They also tied for 7th lowest in rushing yards per attempt. That's bad. That's inefficient, that's inconsistent, and more than anything, that's dangerous for a team relying heavily on Justin Herbert to carry the offense. So, what did they do? They went to work. Aggressively. Now, yes, the 2 new running backs they brought in are exciting. Amarion Hampton and Najee Harris. We'll get to them. But even more important than that was the investment in the offensive line. That's where the real transformation is happening. Zion Johnson is moving back to his natural position at guard. You've got Joe Alt entering his 2nd year, a guy who showed major promise as a rookie. And then there's Mekhi Becton, a huge addition both literally and figuratively. Becton brings size, toughness, and some serious power to the line. He's not here to finesse anyone. He's here to move people. And when you start stacking those types of linemen together, big, aggressive, downhill blockers, you completely change the identity of the offense. Last year, this unit struggled to open holes. This year, that might not be a problem anymore. This version of the Chargers is built to run the football, and that changes everything. When your offense can run the ball consistently, it takes pressure off every other part of your team. Your defense stays fresher. You control the tempo. You win time of possession. And it's not just about old school football anymore. There's a new analytical shift happening across the league, and the Chargers are in position to take advantage of it. For years, the conversation in NFL circles has been all about explosive plays. Every team wanted those 30, 40, 50-yard chunks. How many explosives can you generate per game? That was the metric everyone obsessed over. But like everything in football, defenses adjusted. They started running more too-high safety looks, keeping everything in front of them, forcing teams to dink and dunk. And now, the pendulum is swinging back. The run game is king again. Ball control is becoming more valuable than fireworks. Modern analytics are saying that the most efficient offenses don't just score. They score while chewing clock. Ideally, you're putting together 6-minute drives that end in touchdowns. Why? Because that limits the total number of possessions in the game. Let's say your offense has 6 drives and you score on 4 of them. Touchdowns, not field goals. Now, the pressure is squarely on your opponent. If they only have 6 or 7 possessions and they don't match you, that's the game. You've shortened the clock, you've stolen time. And if your defense is halfway decent, that becomes a winning formula. This is where the Chargers could thrive. Harbaugh knows this. He's lived this. His Michigan teams dominated using this exact formula. It's not about flashy spread it out stuff. It's about execution, discipline, physicality. And now he's building that in the NFL with Herbert at quarterback and a backfield that's finally built for purpose. Let's talk about Najee Harris for a second. The guy's been in Pittsburgh, buried under a shaky offensive scheme behind an inconsistent line, and still found ways to produce. But there was always this sense that he was underused, underappreciated. Now he's got a fresh start in an offense that actually actually wants to run the ball under a coach who values every inch of ground gain. And then there's Amarion Hampton. This kid runs angry, downhill, violent through contact. He's not dancing behind the line or bouncing everything outside. He's decisive, and that's exactly what this offense needs. If he clicks early, you could be looking at a rookie breakout campaign. The Hampton-Harris tandem might not be the most talked about in the league, but make no mistake, it's a dangerous combo, especially when they're running behind a line that's built to punish. But here's the best part. This offense doesn't have to rely solely on the run. The weapons in the passing game are still very real. Mike Williams, when healthy, is a problem. Straight up, he stretches the field, wins contested balls, and forces safeties to account for his presence. That opens up space underneath. That gives Herbert room to work. And with McConkey stepping in as a reliable route runner and Trey Harris flashing serious upside, this receiving core has layers, depth. If Mike Williams stays on the field and Trey Harris develops even just a little bit faster than expected, this offense is suddenly multidimensional. You've got the run game controlling the clock. You've got the pass game hitting downfield when defenses start to creep up. And you've got Justin Herbert, one of the most naturally gifted QBs in the league, operating with structure. Now, I want to take a second to acknowledge Joe Hortiz, the Chargers GM, because he deserves way more credit than he gets. This guy comes from the Baltimore Ravens system, and you can tell. He's calm, methodical, and he doesn't chase headlines. On draft day, while other GMs are making calls and scrambling around like it's chaos, Hortiz looks like he's just chilling. But it's not apathy, it's confidence. He knows his board. He knows his clusters. He's not panicking. He's just executing. And the approach works. Draft picks are valuable. Not every pick will hit, but if you stack enough of them, you increase your odds of finding difference makers. And now, look at what's already coming together. Joe Alt, McConkey, Amarion Hampton, Trey Harris. These are ascending players, not stopgaps. This roster isn't full of guys past their prime. It's full of dudes who are still climbing. And don't sleep on the defense either. This team finished near the top of the league in scoring defense last year. That unit is already strong. They're not a liability. They're a strength. And if the offense can do its part, hold the ball, protect the defense, avoid quick 3-and-outs, then you're talking about a team that can compete with anyone. This isn't just hope. It's not a pie-in-the-sky projection. This is what happens when coaching philosophy aligns with roster building, when a head coach, GM, and quarterback are all moving in the same direction. The Chargers have a real opportunity here. They're not sneaking up on anybody either. They've got primetime game, big matchups, national spotlights, and if they handle business early, by the time you get to week 12, this could be a team sitting at 10-2 or 8-4 or right in the thick of the playoff hunt. And that's all any fan really wants: meaningful football in November and December, a reason to care, a reason to cook out on Sundays, invite friends over, and be locked in. The Chargers are giving you that again, so that's where we're at. The Chargers fixed their biggest problem, doubled down on their identity, and set themselves up for what could be a very, very fun season. If you're a fan, you should be locked in. This thing is coming together, and it's going to be exciting to watch. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited about this year. Is it the run game, the young offensive linemen, the wideouts, or maybe just seeing Harbaugh work his magic? Whatever it is, I want to hear your thoughts.